Hi, my name's Julian Cole, and today we've got Matthew Osborne, who is a senior strategist, a freelance senior strategist, and he's going to be talking through the strategy behind Mattress Firm. So we're going to look at the spot now, and then we're going to do a teardown of the strategy after that.
We've got a problem, America. Junk sleep. It's what you get from a bed that isn't right for you. Keep calling Kevin Keith junk sleep. Left your laptop on the bus? Junk sleep. Can't straight think? Slunk cheap. Junk sleep puts bags under the bags under your eyes. Junk sleep makes you forget the one thing your boss said not to forget. What? Knock, knock. Who's there? Junk sleep. What you need is real sleep. The kind of sleep you get from a bed that matches you. Not him, not her, not whoever's in that. Whoa. So maybe it's time to ask yourself, did you get out of the wrong side of bed this morning? Or the wrong bed altogether?
Thanks, Julian. Yeah, I just wanted to start why this is a great case study for why brands need to move with culture or risk being left behind. But let's start with the one thing that keeps business owners up at night: bankruptcy. So for Mattress Firm, the bed in the box business nearly put them into permanent sleep when they filed for bankruptcy in 2018. Nearly half of all mattresses were bought online versus bricks and mortar locations, like Mattress Firm, forcing it to close nearly 700 locations. But let's look at who's ordering online. Sleep-deprived Americans. So 68% of Americans are sleeping less than the 7 hours required per night. That's a staggering 74 billion hours of missing sleep per year. But the question is, do they realize the impact? Which is, it's junk sleep. A recent study by Sleep Council showed that poor sleep could lead to making you fat, increasing your appetite, mimicking the aging process, and impacting your brain. So many Americans think that their problems can be solved by sleeping longer rather than sleeping better. So neurologist and sleep specialist Dr. Chris Winter said, now that we're obviously securing this extra sleep, it needs to be higher quality, not junk sleep. So the next point here, we have a look at Droga, and we assume that their strategy team tested these 4 routes and that the cognitive performance or everyday mistakes is obviously what resonated most with audiences. So we move on to the customer problem, which is, for these junk sleepers, the problem is that they are walking through life making these bad decisions due to a bad night's sleep. And why? Well, it's no surprise though, because you'll always get out the wrong side of the wrong bed. Therefore, your junk sleep needs a wake-up call from a sleep expert at Mattress Firm. So let's have a look at why. So competitors are basically focusing on quality clicks and conversions from customers, whereas Mattress Firm is focusing on quality sleep for customers. And then we have a quick snapshot of what competitors are showing, and it's all focusing on the functional benefit, a fantasy world of perfect mornings. So, which I guess, I'd suggest you ask your friends or family how often they have or experience these types of scenarios. But then let's move on to the goal then for customers. What they want to do now is basically avoid the feeling of not quite good enough when they're struggling at tasks they know they can and should succeed at. So some examples of what that could be is driving off with a coffee cup still on your roof, sitting there trying to keep your trousers pulled down because you wore the wrong socks, or buying tickets for the wrong game, the work pass you just keep forgetting, transferring the wrong amount to the wrong person, or even more serious, overshooting that zebra crossing. So then we come onto the business goal, resulting in an increase of 5% of in-store sales. So I think it'd be good to just summarize this now into a strategy on a page, which is Mattress Firm was forced into closing 700 locations as nearly half of all mattresses were purchased online versus bricks and mortar locations. The problem is, people are sleepwalking through life, making bad decisions due to a bad night's sleep. However, you'll always get out the wrong side of the wrong bed. So we need to give people's junk sleep a wake-up call from a sleep expert at Mattress Firm so that they avoid feeling not quite good enough when they know they're struggling at tasks they should and can succeed at, helping to increase in-store sales at Mattress Firm by 5%. So let's have a look at what the creative brief could have looked like. Here we have the insight of you'll always get out the wrong side of the wrong bed. And what we want to do is get sleep-deprived Americans who are sleepwalking through life, making bad decisions due to a bad night's sleep, to realize that their junk sleep needs a wake-up call by letting a Mattress Firm sleep expert unjunk your sleep. So, which comes with a consumer goal, that they avoid the feeling of not quite good enough when you're struggling at tasks you know you can and should succeed at. So here's the point. We assume the creative team go away, they apply their anti-establishment process, and they come back days later emerging with bags under their eyes with the solution, junk sleep. Unjunk your sleep with Mattress Firm. So let's review the creative and channels with a comms plan. What we look at is 3 phases here: living, looking, buying. So living being the part where it's awareness, it's emotive, it's creating that understanding of junk sleep. Then we look at the looking phase. This is where people are searching or making the consideration to purchase. They're looking up the functional benefits of sleep. And then finally buying, which is the conversion stage, where people are starting to really delve into the more detail and the features of the product. So let's go back to living. So the living stage, we have basically people are not aware that their basic mistakes that they're creating on a day-on-day basis is from poor sleep. So what we need to do is give them a wake-up call as to what those mistakes are being created from the lack of sleep. Then we move into the looking stage, where people don't know the benefits of a good night's sleep. So what we need to do is show them how they can unjunk their sleep with expert advice. Then moving into the buying phase, this is where people are sleeping on the decision to buy quality sleep. And what we want to do then is obviously give them peace of mind through offers, sleep tools, and personalized options. I'm going to go into the key channels in a sec, which we'll show in the campaign ecosystem. So here we have the campaign ecosystem, and what this does is it filters down from living, looking, buying, starting with the living stage. So we've got the manifesto here, where the brand basically announced that they're going to tackle junk sleep. And then we move into the sort of more widely distribution of awareness areas, such as TV, their commercial, their partnership with MLB, the Unjunk Your Sleep competition. Then we move into the looking phase, which is actually split into 2 areas. So we have fame, entertainment, and trial, and then sleep expert advice. So the fame, entertainment, and trial is with famous ambassadors who are influential that will drive search on the site, and then the site itself then offers expert advice and content from sleep score professionals. Then we move down into the buying phase, which is the conversion element, where the brand gets to showcase its value proposition, product features, sales offers, personalized tools, and then finance options. So before we carry on, we'll look now into the campaign blueprint. So the campaign blueprint is basically just how the campaign will roll out, and it showcases 2 things: cultural moments and then our media approach. So our media approach is basically targeting people who are awake and cannot sleep, or people who should have slept in order to perform better. I'm not going to delve into this all just yet. We'll come on to it all in a bit. So okay, the detail behind the detail. So this is the nuts and bolts of the campaign, which really has some really interesting information behind it. So let's just have a quick brief history to Bankruptcy here. Pre-2018, life was looking good. Things were booming. Mattress Firm was going through a series of bricks and mortar acquisitions, but this meant that nearly 43% of stores were in 1 mile of each other, Basically, at one stage, there were more places to get a mattress than you could get a Big Mac. So the challenge here is they were not moving where people were purchasing, which ultimately led to bankruptcy. So a quick look at the category here. And what we've got is obviously it's very large. There's many online competitors, 12% of which is bed-in-a-box sales. There's a steady year-on-year decline of sales in store, but a significant jump online. So fast forward now to the campaign, and let's have a look at mindset, moments, and media. When you look at their website and you review it deep, you can actually start seeing that there's a focus on three sort of key sectors here. That we're looking at sport, work, and socializing. And so what we can see is how the media is being targeted. And that's targeting people who are, basically doing early morning hours viewing, where they are tired and they can't sleep. And then when productivity matters, so when they've had poor sleep and then poor performance. So what I also wanted to just highlight here is why the Olympics was the perfect launch spot for this campaign, both contextually and for the opportunity. So the opportunity being that we're targeting a really wide range of a media audience, and then within that is the target audience that we're trying to get. Why? Because this means during this piece, or during the Olympics, most Americans will awake for the opening ceremony in the early hours of the morning, and especially when they were tired. So now we've identified that sport, work, and socializing are obviously the three areas. Now we've actually can identify that we've got three audience sets: active sports enthusiasts, modern socialites, and striving business workers, with a big focus on targeting millennials and then Gen X. So you might be saying now, millennials, might as well target the universe. Well, yes and no. A quick scan on YouGov Profiler obviously shows with these key profiles that there's an over-index on millennials, yes, but from an age focus. So what's quite interesting now, before we move on to the next part, is when you look at the sites and the advert, it's all focusing on day-to-day mistakes, but there's a huge sort of push on sports and sporting moments. And I just wanted to delve in a bit deeper to understand why they're going so heavily on sport. It's basically because people have junked their priorities. So what we've got here is most people are, doing a lot more fitness. They're focusing on work. They're focusing on hobbies and not sleep. So they've got active lifestyles, no sleep, and it's just leading to actually poor performance. So what we have now is obviously this growing culture of becoming fit and healthy with lack of sleep. So like good nutrition, your body needs good sleep. So let's just have a quick look at the competitors then. And what we've got here is everyone's focusing on functional sleep. So if all sleep was created equally, well, this would be it. They've got similar websites, very similar messaging, dare I even say it, similar logos basically. So now the big question is, what would cut through look like? Well, if you don't remember the ad, that could be due to junk sleep. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Matt. I think it's so great how you've gone from go to woe. You really had the business case there. Your strategy on a page was really solid. Go through the comms framework. You've got your blueprint in there as well. You've really kind of got a solid foundation here. And I think you've brought it through the media, which I really enjoyed too. So thank you so much for that. I'd love to talk about quickly about the Planning Dirty Academy and what you have found most useful from that and whether it helped with this presentation.
100%. I think the good thing about the Planning Dirty Academy for me especially is the structure. So you can really follow a certain sequence, but the good thing is it's just a framework, right? And which means you can actually just break that and be more creative, but it gives you the fundamentals, the structure you want to move forward with, which is great. So being able to take an advert and be able to break it down quite easily now, rather than trying to look at all these various elements, there are certain parts that it easily makes it identifiable. I think like for me, one of the biggest things is the time it saves. So when I'm in a client's offices, whenever I'm freelancing, I've got templates on the go, and I work in different countries. So knowing that that's all online, quick access, I can just get on there, jump on all the relevant framework and pull this together. This piece only took a couple of days, which just shows having these frameworks to hand, it just really speeds up the process. And I've come from an integrated experiential background. So this has also put me on par with some of the sort of bigger firms, which is great. I've had opportunities to get into very big places. So for me, priceless is the way I would put it.
Great. And for anyone else who's on the fence, would there be anything you would say to them?
Anyone who's on the fence, I was on the fence for a long time. Let's put it like that. And as soon as I've done that, I just don't regret it. The benefit of lifetime access is the content is continuously building. I mean, it's great now, but you just know all these other global strategists who are contributing to this. You're getting inside thought here. My perceptions on some things, which I've learned through the various books and things, it's great. But this gives you the frameworks to just move quickly with it. Yeah. You don't have to sit and go through that. You can just pick it up and go through any piece you don't have. You have access to other community members and then Julian himself. So I've bounced some ideas with Julian before, and it's got cut through.
Excellent. Thanks so much for sharing that, Matt. It was perfect. It's great.
Great fun. Thank you.
How can Planning Dirty help you? 4 ways. Firstly, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to get weekly reminders of new videos. Second, subscribe to the Planning Dirty newsletter to get strategy tools and resources delivered every 2 weeks. Thirdly, you can learn the fundamentals of strategy by becoming a member of the Planning Dirty Academy. Finally, you can follow me for more strategy tips on Instagram @byjuliancole.